All right, boys, welcome back. Here we are. It is the end of week 13. So big week getting towards the beginning of playoffs. Things are really starting to shape up. Uh, I know I say that every week, but I'm back. I took a 2 week hiatus, holidays, uh, doing stuff around the crib, work, all that. Was a little busy, but we're back. Got this video coming up next week. We'll be back with another video right before playoffs. I got some big things lined up. Not necessarily big things, but some plans, I guess, for these upcoming playoff videos. If available, I would like to get some pre-game interviews going into the playoffs. Hopefully, we can do some post-game / pre-game interviews for the next round and kind of keep that trend going as we go into the playoffs. Um, but yeah, that's in the works right now. Nothing concrete. Hopefully, we can get that going. Um, just get some perspectives. But yeah, let's dive into it. Just finished up week 13. Yeah, so we're actually gonna take a look at this past week, see how things panned out around the league, and kind of what took place in week 13. So we're gonna start off with the highest scoring team, Caleb's Casting the Couch. Who would have thunk it? Nobody. But actually, my team's been on a bit of a tear lately, so I'm pretty happy with it. The lowest score was Trust Fund QBs, who actually had, I believe, the lowest score so far this season. So unfortunate for him. We had a close game with Never Jamar Chase Ho and Master Rage Baiter. Master Rage Baiter falls to Never Jamar Chase Ho. Shocker there. Did not see that one coming. And then we have the biggest blowout being Caleb's Casting Couch taking down Watt Squad. 182 to 89.2. And I forgot to mention, but for the closest game, it was 121.4 to 115.9. Yeah, and so head to head, we look at that real quick. Caleb, like I said, Caleb's Casting Couch kind of dominated Wild Squad, which is a shocker considering he was front runner for majority of the season. His team's been not producing lately like he'd hoped. So like if noticeable underperformances from dudes like JSN, Justin Jefferson, who's kind of been a problem all season. Yeah, so big names that kind of struggle for him, and then just a pretty decent performance. No, outside of the Seahawks defense right here, no game breaking scores, but just a consistent all around product from Caleb's Casting Couch, who's now 6-7 on the season. 6-7. I'm sorry. Hit the Saquon falls to Make America Great Again. The Saquon is now 6-7. Make America Great Again, 7-6. Jordan Love with a big game. Then outside of that, he didn't have much production outside of Chase Brown, who put up 18. And then Make America Great Again, similar to the Caleb's Casting Couch team before, just a pretty solid game all around. He had a kicker who underperformed, a wide receiver who underperformed, or two wide receivers who underperformed, but everybody else was pretty much in double digits outside of the defense. So, Team Daguerrean falls to I Cook Brown Rice. This one was a pretty good game. Team Daguerrean is now 5-8, and I Cook Brown Rice 7-6. Mahomes, HN, James Cook, all with big performances. Cortland Sutton, Rasheed Rice, of course. AJ Brown with a phenomenal game, something that we've been looking for all season, and it's finally starting to show itself. And then news here is Amon-Ra St. Brown going down with an injury. 0 points, but that is because he went out with an injury early in the game. So we'll be looking to hear about that situation. Master Race Raider now 10-3 as he falls to Never Jamar Chase Ho, who is 5-8. Let's see, big games from Devontae Adams, who is just a dominant red zone target. It's crazy. Derrick Henry had a pretty good game. McCaffrey didn't have his marquee big game that he's had up been having up to this point. I think that's like one of his lowest points per game this season, which is crazy because it's 17 points. And then Rico Dowdle also with a snap share and Carolina backfield, so only 9.9 points there. Jalen Waddle and Igbuka also didn't have great games. And then Trust Fund QBs falls to Chef Seth, which is crazy. Trust Fund QBs now 6-7. Chef Seth is 5-8. Chef Seth was not carried, but led the way by Bijan Robinson, Jameson Williams, who both had plus 25 points. And then Trust Fund QBs, it was just abysmal all around. His high score was 16.7 points. And outside of that, he only had one other dude in double digits. So that's tough to see that one right there. But we can look at, I guess, positional ratings, see who performed the best per position. I Cook Brown Rice had Mahomes, who put up 29.4 at the QB position. Jordan Love put up 25.8, and Dak put up 20.6. Bijan of Chef Seth put up 30.3. RJ Harvey put up 21.2, and DeAndre Swift put up 20.8. At wide receiver, we had AJ Brown of Team Guerin with 35.2. Rashee Rice with 29.4, and Jameson Williams with 26.9. Tight end, we had Trey McBride of Caleb's Casting Couch put up 22.2. Travis Kelce put up 15.5, and TJ Hawkinson, put up 11.9. At kicker, we had Jason Myers of Team Guerin put up 19 points. That's pretty huge from a kicker. Brandon Aubrey put up 12. Chase McLaughlin put up 10. And then defense, we had Seahawks of Caleb's Casting Couch put up 34, Bills put up 18, and the Colts put up 9. So pretty standard. We had some big names. Both our number 1 and 2 teams lost this week, which is shocking considering how things have been going lately. So we'll take a look at the standings now, and then we'll look into the power rankings and see how that has things looking in both of these manners. Starting off with the standings. Updated standings is still Master Rage Baiter in first at 10-3. Wad Squad still in second, 8-5. I Cook Brown Rice and Make America Great Again are tied for third and fourth. Both at 7-6, separated by nearly 300 points for. So that's crazy how big of a difference their offense has been, and yet they're both 7-6. Caleb's Casting Couch, mind blown. I don't understand it. 6-7 after being 2-7, 1-7, I think. What is going on? Don't ask me. I have no answers. Hit the Saquon at 6-7 in sixth place. Trust Fund QBs in seventh at 6-7 as well. And then Never Jamar Chase Aho, Team Guerin, and Chef Seth all battling for the last place. Right now, Chef Seth is in last place, of course, because he has the least points for. But he did just win this week, so maybe things are starting to turn in a positive direction for him. And then if we come look at the power rankings, we have Master Rage Baiter still in first. I Cook Brown Rice has now jumped Wad Squad to go to second. I think it's largely due to Wad Squad going on a 3-game losing streak, which is unfortunate definitely for him. Then we have Make America Great Again. Caleb's Casting Couch is in fifth place. And what does that say? 5-game win streak? Nah, bro. What is going on? Never Jamar Chase Aho is in sixth place. Hit the Saquon in seventh. Trust Fund QB's eighth. Chef Seth ninth. And Team Guerin is rounding out the bottom of the power rankings. So far this season, the best offense has been Master Rage Baiter. As we know, he's been putting up crazy points, averaging 150 per game. Wow. Not too far behind, though, is I Cook Brown Rice with 146 points per game. And then the best defense has been Trust Fund QBs, who is averaging only giving up 121 points per game. So he's not giving up too many points. Chef Seth is not too far behind him as well. He's only given no, I'm sorry, Make America Great Again. It's right there behind them, only giving up 123 points per game. So both those teams have really good defenses up to this point in the season. Uh, all right, so now we're going to dive into the playoff picture, see how things are looking at this moment. Right now, the first round buys are going to Master Race Bader and Wad Squad. So I'm pretty sure Master Race Bader has locked in his first round bye. If he hasn't locked in the number 1 overall seed yet. And then Wad Squad has clinched the playoffs, but I don't think he's locked in on a first round bye, considering this next week how things might turn out. If he loses and I Cook Brown Rice wins, or Make America Great Again wins, then that could shift that positioning. And then it looks like the first round matchups will be Make America Great Again against Caleb's Casting Couch and Hit the Saquon against I Cook Brown Rice. Once again, I am utterly shocked that I am in the playoff picture right now, because who in their right mind would have ever anticipated a team going 1-7 and then ending up in the playoffs? Not me. So it's crazy to see. But yeah, let's move on here. We'll look into some of the activity of the league up to this point. Of course, our trade deadline passed, so there's not much going on other than some waiver wire pickups. Nothing crazy, no big names really. I know Devin Singletary actually was a pretty good pickup this week. He ended up putting up, I think, like 19 points. So if James probably should have utilized him, it would have benefited him. But nothing crazy. But there were some big injuries, like I said. So even I'm dealing with Drake London. He's still out at the moment. Let's see. Nobody of note on Hit the Saquon, but I Cook Brown Rice dealing with Amon-Ra St. Brown. What I read said that he will be basically, if he's ready to play, he'll play. If not, he won't play. So what I'm comprehending that is he's not going to play this week. Hopefully he can be back for next week, because that'll be the first round of playoffs for Kenny's team. So he's going to be hoping that he's back just to help bolster his chances. And then let's see if we have any other. George Pickens is also on the injury report. That's shocking, because he's just been killing it this season. So for Bernie's sake, he's probably hoping George Pickens gets cleared. Kyron Williams also, I know he left the game early, but he did come back in, so it doesn't seem like there's going to be too much. But if there is a problem there, that could be a little questionable for James as he goes in. Well, hopefully everything can work out, because he does have to bye week. So if he gets that sorted out before the bye week, or before his second round matchup, then that would be really good for him. Let's see. T. Higgins is out with a concussion. I think he was already out. I'm not entirely sure. Marvin Harrison got hurt again. I saw that. So if he's out, then Michael Wilson, his stocks go up. But as we saw, when Marvin Harrison is in the game, Michael Wilson is a non-factor. Let's see. Woody Marks got banged up a little bit. And yeah, that looks like about it for, I guess, new injuries or anything like that. So let's take a look at some of the graphs for this week and see how things have shaped up around the league. So yeah, starting off with the scatter plot, or I guess points for versus points against. We have I Cook Brown Rice and Master Rage Bader are in the top right. They're both have really good offenses, but also have not really bad defenses, but they both given up the first and second most points. So their defenses have been struggling. They've been giving up a large amount of points per game. And this is kind of odd to see how the teams that are scoring more are also giving up the most points, because you would not expect to see that kind of correlation um, in fantasy football, because obviously there's nothing we can actually do about our defenses. So I wonder why, what that's like rooted in, um, personally. But yeah, that's it for here. We got a big cluster kind of in this 1,700 point range, or less than 1,700. So it'll be exciting to see what this looks like as the season comes to an end. Then we look at our weekly scores by team, and we look at week 13. We had an average of 116 points. So this is a pretty low average. We did not perform very well as a league this week. So towards the end of the season, you would expect to see more, higher scoring teams, but this just wasn't the case this week. So I'm wondering what'll shape up as we go throughout the rest of the season. And then if we look at some of these score distribution plots, we can see our consistent teams are still really consistent. Aiyuk, Brown, Rice, James, really consistent. Make America Great Again, really consistent as well. So yeah, just got some pretty consistent teams and some pretty volatile teams like Caleb's Casting Couch, all over the place. Doesn't make sense. I don't know. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the breakdown so far. I'm gonna dive into now I'm gonna dive into some of the injury reports, like some more, I guess, not analytical, but I guess more professional injury reports that might have more details as far as like if they'll be playing this week, yada yada yada. Then I'll also look at some of the upcoming next week's matchups. All right, starting off what we have for week 14, we have Caleb's Casting Couch going up against Chef Seth. Right now, it looks like Caleb's Casting Couch is projected to win with, 139 points to 105. But there's somebody on a bye week for Chef Seth, so that could change. And as he optimizes his lineup, obviously that could change as well. Then we have Master Ragebaiter versus Wad Squad Wow, number 1 and number 2 in the rankings. This will be a big matchup because just playoff implications. If JWad wins, he can secure his bye. If James wins, he can secure his number 1 overall seed. So it'll be big to see how this one pans out. But there are some notable players that are on bye for James this week. He has Christian McCaffrey and Rico Dowdle both on bye, who have been big scorers for him. So it'll be good to see how this GM will address his team and make changes to kind of consolidate those points that he'll be missing out on. Next, we have Hit the Saquon versus Aiyuk, Brown, Rice. Big game here as well. Both these dudes are in the playoff hunt and fighting for the best seed that they can get. So if things keep if they go as they're projected, both teams have a bye on their roster right now, but it looks like Aiyuk, Brown, Rice will be taking the edge. He has Trevion Henderson on a bye, and then Hit the Saquon has Wan'Dale Robinson on a bye. Like I said, it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out just because of the implications it has when it comes to the playoffs. Then we have Team Dagirin going up against Make America Great Again. Team Dagirin, I'm sure, is hoping for another loss so that he can ensure his possibility of a highest draft pick that he can get. So he will not throw the game, but be preying on his own downfall. But it looks like Make America Great Again has 2 teams on a bye. So if he gets those sorted out, it looks like he should win as things are right now. But Bucky Irvin has came back and played pretty well. I think he put up like 16 or so points last week. So that was only like at a low, like 50% snap share too. So if he really gets the wheels turning, he can bolster Team Dagirin back into the competition. Um, and last but not least, we have Never Jamar Chase a Ho versus Trust Fund QBs. Um, Big game here. Also, both teams are towards the bottom, but there's potential to get in the playoffs. I think you can get in the playoffs at 7-7. I'm not entirely sure. So if Trust Fund QBs wins, he could see that happening as like a 6 seed. Just depends on the rest of the league as per usual. Yeah, no, both teams look like they will have a full roster. No notable buys from either of these teams. I know the Panthers and the 49ers are on a bye week this week, so it'll be hopefully. The Patriots are also on a bye week, so maybe nothing too detrimental from their teams will set them back, and we can have a nice fair competition. Yeah, so now I'm gonna pull up some of the injury reports. All right, starting off with quarterbacks. Oh, a big noticeable name right here, Justin Herbert. If he is, I'm pretty sure he hurt his hand. He came out the game for a little bit, I think, and it looks like he's going to be having surgery. So I'm not sure how that'll affect his play style. It is his non-throwing hand, so could see some. I don't know. You could see a decline in his production because, like I said, that's a hand surgery, and obviously it's his offhand, but that still makes a difference. And then we moved to running back, Dylan Sampson. Not really fantasy relevant, but hopefully it'll mean more work for Quinshon Judkins, who I own. So it's good for me. Aaron Jones, he's pretty injury prone, but he suffered a shoulder injury, and it's going to be needing further evaluation. So maybe what's his backup's name? Jordan Mason will be getting more time, or more carries. Kyron Williams also left with an ankle injury. If that, like I mentioned earlier, it doesn't look like it's too big of a deal, but it could come back and be something bigger than expected. Woody Marks, he left the game against the Colts, but he came back and looked like he was fine. So we'll just be waiting for some injury reports as the week goes. Like I said earlier, Marvin Harrison hurt his shoulder. Or it was his ankle, I believe. So, or heel. So we don't know what the deal is right there. We're still waiting for more. Let's see. Parker Washington suffered a hip injury. Amon-Ra St. Brown. This one's a big name, biggest name on here. Suffered a low ankle sprain. He's considered week to week, but they have a big gap between their next game. So if he's able to recover in that 10-day span, of course you can expect him to play. But if not, then maybe expect him to be back around week 15. That's what I'm thinking. This boosts Jameson Williams though, because he is definitely going to be getting the workload in the time that he's gone. And yeah, that's pretty much it this week as far as injury reports, things of that nature, week breakdown, recap, all that. So I'm looking forward to week 14, seeing how this playoff picture is going to look. And hopefully all y'all's teams are getting back healthy and can help y'all perform as we go into the playoffs. So appreciate y'all tuning in. Look forward to seeing y'all next week. If you're watching this, please be ready for potential text about interviews, things like that, because I'm trying to get that stuff set up soon so that we can dive right into it, have it seamless, incorporate it in the video, and get it out to y'all next week. So yeah, just be on the lookout. Hopefully soon we'll be making some more videos with y'all, things like that. But yeah, appreciate y'all tuning in. It's been a good one, and I'll see y'all next week.